Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Breaking Bedrock. My name is Fiasco. Thank you so much for joining me today in front of our new and hopefully last super smelter. And it's not even that super, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. It's only got 8 units. 4 of them are a regular furnace, 4 of them are a smoker, and I think that this is going to be fine for now. Rather than having the same design but on the back side, I just decided to go with something that's facing the catwalk here, which I think turned out pretty good. It's not perfect, it's just, you know, a little janky to reach up there and whatnot, but we'll maybe make some improvements to this along the way, including filling this side out. I'm thinking maybe with some blast furnaces or something, just so we have a solid wall here. Even if they're not automated, I think that it'll still look pretty good. And I really needed to get this set up. It was kind of a hasty last-minute thing when I was playing last, because I wanted some of this, some sweet, sweet dried kelp. And that is currently cooking up in there. I've got some scaffolding for our fuel source, and I wanted some dried kelp blocks for decorating because I just wanted, you know, I wanted to experiment a little bit with the dried kelp block. I think that it's a very unique block, and I think that it works really good in a lot of builds. And so I was kind of working on this archway. This one I've raised up a bit. I just wanted to kind of polish this up a little bit. And so it's a little bit different on the way in. I like this a lot better. And then on the inside here, I'm just not sure what we're gonna do with the walls. I've got some jungle wood up there right now that I don't mind. It's a little bit dark. Let's go to sleep. So I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do with these walls, and I'm still really not. I'm just kind of in the experimenting phases, but I thought maybe it would look good if we kind of throw a little bit of a different block in there and maybe see what that looks like. It's a little weird with the stone on one side and the wood on the other, but something like that. So if you see throughout the videos kind of like a different pattern on these walls or something, that's just because I'm playing around with it for the next little while. I'm also going to need a lot more kelp. It takes quite a bit to make these dried kelp blocks, so gonna definitely need to work on a kelp farm at some point. But for now, I just went into the ocean and scooped up a whole bunch. It's actually pretty easy to get naturally. But yeah, if we want a lot of that, then we are going to need to build a proper farm, and that's another episode for another day. So a quick update on our little mushroom island here, or quickly becoming not a mushroom island now. I've added some trees and this cute little walkway here, which I think I'm going to make a little fishing area down here. And so we've just kind of got you know, a very rustic looking walkway. I fly most of the time, so it doesn't have to be actually that smooth, but I think that it's a good view, a good visual going up, and this is kind of the level of cuteness that I want to attain for the entire island by the time we're done decorating it. Another thing you might notice is the use of this block right here. This is green concrete powder, and it works really well when you're trying to kind of have a little bit of diversity in your grass palette. There isn't a whole lot of blocks until we get our moss blocks very soon here. 1.17 is coming out very quickly. In fact, the next video might be shot fully in 1.17, and then we'll have a whole bunch of new stuff to play around with, including the moss block, which will I'll probably add the moss block to this palette rather than replace the concrete powder with it, because I do like the variation that it gives. It's a subtle thing when you're flying by or when you're running by on the path and whatnot, but it does make a difference, and I do quite like it. So we're gonna keep with that. I just need a ton of concrete powder to do it, and I will make that, but not on this episode. In today's episode, we are going to be setting up a bit of a piglin trading area in the Nether, because there's a lot of really great blocks that you can get from piglin trading that you really just can't get practically elsewhere, including the crying obsidian and regular obsidian as well. It's also probably the best way to get gravel. You get a ton of gravel from it, and it's super quick, super easy, and we are probably going to set up initially a way that uses an exploit in order to get what we want. So it's a much faster way, it's much simpler, but when they patch it, it's not it's a bug, so don't expect it to stick around for very long. So if you want to build something like it at home, just remember that you're probably going to need to replace it with an actual trading hall at some point. Also, we did some detailing underneath our cliffs here, and I've also hidden some lighting blocks inside of this cliff with just a backwards stone stair, so you can see the flat end of it, but light still goes through. And I think that looks really good. The vines are a bit bright compared to the leaves. I might swap those leaves out for a brighter leaf at some point, but I think that it looks really good right now, and it actually looks really cool at night as well. So as you can see, we have that done on all sides, and our terraforming is darn near complete. For all the big stuff anyways, the big making and shaping hills and whatnot, and the cliffs. Took quite a while, but it was definitely worth it. It completely changed the entire look of this main island, and now it's starting to look a lot more like what I want it to. So I think that I'm going to grab a few supplies, and then we are going to head into the Nether, and we're going to try and pick out a good area for our little Piglin trading system. So what we just dealt with right there is the #1 problem with building in the Nether, and something I'm very familiar with after having made that ghast farm. Those guys are relentless, and boy, do they cause a mess. That is the reason I am throwing down this stone floor here to work on, even though it may not be our final design. It's important to get some floors and walls in place, and I don't want that fellow because he has a crossbow, but I do need to trap one of these piglins for our trading mechanics to work. So basically I'm just gonna put together a little shack here, and I think I'll try to make it look pretty. And I still don't know how our nether hub is going to be designed, but I think it makes perfect sense for our main road to flow from our portal there. That's our main portal. And then go, you know, X amount of blocks in that direction, and then the other axes. Get out of here. But our gold farm is right here. So if we make our trading area very conveniently close to our gold farm, that just makes a lot of sense to me. And this place is a mess. I have been neglecting this nether for way too long. So I think hopefully once we get a little bit of infrastructure in place here with the trading hall, I'll be a little more motivated to actually get working on a nether hub, which super handy. Love nether hubs, but yeah, they do take quite a bit of time to make. So let me whip up a little shack here, and then we can get going on our trading hall. And after some fighting ghasts while we were building here in the Nether, we finally have a nice cozy little shack in order to build our humble trading hall. And I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I went with some, you know, wacky colors and whatnot, the white concrete, and then mixing in the green and the red with the nether wood there. But I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, let me know if you have any comments on ways to improve this. And it's making me wonder how we are going to do our actual nether hub, because I don't hate having structures like this rather than, like, you know, a big tunnel that goes to a specific room, and maybe like having our nether attractions kind of split up like this into their own buildings is a viable option. I do need to put some doors on this thing though, because these stupid zombie pigmen won't get out of my face, and I have had it with them. So I'll just board this up real quick, and as you can see, I have procured a friend here who I have called Phil for no reason. So let's just plop there, and then, oh, that's higher than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I think that'll work. That'll be all right for now. Maybe I'll add some stuff to it later, but I do want to get building with the actual trading unit tonight, which really shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, so in here you can see the crying obsidian. This red concrete will be replaced with crying obsidian so that it matches and it's not so what's going on in here. But I need this fella to trade me some crying obsidian before I can finish that off. So, but I know that he's going to trade me quite a bit of it, so I'm not too worried. The real problem will be actually our gold supply, if I'm being honest with myself, but that just means we need to upgrade our gold farm a little. But there's nothing wrong with starting here first. So I think what I'm going to do is start with the storage, and we're not going to do an auto sorter just because there is going to be no space for one in here. There's a lot of items that are traded, and to sort them all out is not super practical. So what I'm going to do is focus on having maybe... I'm going to try and get a few hopper minecarts under him so that we can have it dispersed quickly, because these guys trade a lot of stuff using this bug that I'm going to use, and a regular hopper doesn't always pick it up quick enough, so we need to kind of make sure that we take that into account so we don't lose anything and there's not too many entities cramming up the world. So I'm going to push this little guy out of the way, and as long as I don't open any chests or take off my gold helmet, he's a-okay with me for now. So it is super handy having him not aggro on me for a short period of time, and that is why I didn't want a crossbow guy, because me just opening up this chest here, I'd suddenly be getting pegged in the back with crossbows. So keep that in mind if you're working on one of these for yourself. So let me tackle this storage system and see what we can come up with, eh, Phil? So what I think will work in order to get these items out quickly enough is one hopper minecart should be able to pull quite a bit of items out pretty quickly, and where it's placed, it should be able to pull them off of any one of these as long as they land relatively in the center. Right. So what I did in order to get this minecart where I wanted it to be, I put it on a rail right here, then I broke the rail, and then you put a wall kind of up here, so if your minecart was there, and then you put a shulker box on that wall, and when you open the shulker box, it comes in half a block, and it's perfect for pushing a minecart just kind of halfway onto these things. It's way easier than nudging it around yourself. So I think that that should work, and I might need to set up maybe a pane of glass or something to make sure that the items fall in the appropriate place. But I think if I have him sat on one of these two and he's facing this way, it should drop pretty well perfect. So here's hoping. If not, we can always adjust it later, but that I think should do it and be able to pull enough down at one time. No, 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 no. Yay! All right, so we're just about ready to... Whoops. Well, I guess I have an extra gold helmet now. We're just about ready to test this bad boy, but I need some gold first. I don't want to fully commit if it's not going to work, so we'll just do about a stack for now. Now, if we pop on up here, and I might need to install a better way to get the gold in here, but if we pop on up in there, then if we come down here, this should, in theory, did I bring my... No, it looks like I forgot it. Okay, well, that's fine. We just need some of that, some gold, to aggro our friend. I thought that I had brought some with me, but I might have put it back when I went to get some gold. So we'll just grab one of those, and if you grab it with Silk Touch, of course it won't break, and all of the piglins in the area will hate you, but that's kind of what we want. And you can do this with any gold, really, but this is just nice and cheap. So we'll plop that right there. Then when this switches on, right, our sticky piston will pull that back and forth, aggroing him, and then he will start pumping out the items. And because of the bug, he will trade as quickly as... Okay, those don't look like they're being picked up. So he'll trade as quickly as a new one pops out. Now let's take a look here. I was a little worried about this. We might need to change... where the dropper is, because none of that stuff looks like it's getting picked up. And the minecart is probably too far ahead for that. So let's see. This is a lot of construction material, but there are a few things in here. So let's see if anything is actively being funneled in right now. And no, it looks like probably just some stuff that got pushed to the side made its way in there. So what we need to do is he's going to face whatever way the dropper is pointing, and we need him to face forward in order for this to work. I even put a pane of glass there so that the items can fall a little farther forward. So I wonder if, I guess if I just replace that pane there, he'll be facing forward. So let's give that a shot. It won't look as nice, unfortunately, having the dropper in the front, but what are you gonna do? Okay, I think I've got her all sorted out now. So I did have to drop a hopper, so this won't be funneling out as evenly or as quickly, but it will still hopefully be enough. I just did have to knock it under there, and that much overlap on the hitboxes should be enough for this hopper to pick up as well. So let's flick this on, and first things first, I just want to see, good, there are things going into there. And let's see if there's any being wasted. Now, it just might not be picking them up quick enough, which I was a little worried about. But you can see this exploit at work here. It really is something else. It goes super quick. And I might just be better off... Even the one... Well, that was a whole stack of gold right there. So even the one unloader right underneath it might be good. So let's just see how long that all takes to disappear, because as long as it's within a reasonable time frame, you don't have to worry about things not getting picked up. And let me check the hopper minecart here. Yep, okay, so that isn't picking everything up. Rats, okay. What can we do about that? I guess, so it's this corner right here is not getting picked up on, and I don't know if I have a better way. I can't put him right on top of the hopper minecart, I don't think. Okay, let me think. Let me try and work this out. At any rate, you can see how quickly the trading system works, and when it does pick everything up, it is quite the amount of things. And, you know, crying obsidian, for example. So we can already start kind of replacing this very out-of-place red concrete with this much nicer looking royal purple crying obsidian, which is a block I just love. We'll be building with more of that in the future. So let me see what I can come up with here and see if we can get a little bit better of a collection system. Okay, take, I don't know how many. We have switched to 2 hoppers now, and this is still a double speed unloader. So how hoppers work is if they are unable to go down, they will go to the side. So ideally, this should still work. And it'll still get on both sides here, because these 2 sides are not connected. So we should hopefully see them funneling into this chest and into this chest, because they'll be going so quickly. And now that minecart is just centered underneath the 1 block that he is standing on. I got rid of the glass panes. That wasn't really helping. So let's give this a shot and see how it goes. There is another stack of gold in there. We have him aggroed. So, show me the money. Okay. So I don't think that worked again. But, let's see if, I guess, if everything is picked up at the very least. Also, no. So it's not using, it's not, I'm aggroing so many of those pigmen right now. I gotta turn that off. That's getting quite annoying. Alright, I guess back to the drawing board. You guys stand guard. Alright, and here's the new configuration. There are 2 hopper minecarts to kind of spread it out a little bit. This one in the middle was good, but it was missing just this last corner here. And now I think that these 2 should be able to pick them all up and deposit them more or less evenly in those chests. So let's just take a peek here. Little concerned about this stuff in the corner, but it's probably just backlogged. So I only put a stack of this golden at a time for these testing purposes, but as long as we see that all of this stuff is getting picked up, we should be good to go. So let's just give it a minute here. Okay, so everything does get picked up. That problem is solved. Our other problem now is just the speed at which it can pick things up. So these two spread over now 3 hoppers should help quite a bit. So let's pump a little bit more gold in there. Actually, you know what? We're feeling pretty good. So let's do a few stacks and just see how long it takes to go through like 4 or 5 stacks of gold. And I think I can even reach... I'll have to build myself a little ladder. But it did work out putting the dropper on the front because now I don't have to go to the back to put things in. Now, I imagine this insane exploit will get patched pretty quickly. Actually, it's been around for a whole update, so maybe they're not too concerned about it. But, you know, this is bound to go eventually. This is extremely OP, and it basically means that you don't need to have a full, like, 20 piglins in an actual trading hall. You can just cheese it with one and basically get more out of it, or at least the exact same amount. So yeah, these are filling up as can be expected. I maybe will do a little bit of research into different types of unloaders or quicker collection systems. And I think as long as we're not doing too much at one time, this will be enough. And really, I just kind of want a few things like crying obsidian. This is a great way to farm blackstone, so I don't have to actually go out and collect it. You get a lot of blackstone from this, a lot of gravel, which is great because I need it for concrete. So there is a lot of use in this trading. Also, I'll never need to make a fire resistance potion again. You get so many fire resistance potions from this. Okay, that looks a lot better with the crying obsidian up now. Excellent. I'm glad I built this crying obsidian farm that occasionally produces gravel. Oh, also I can get soul speed books because I don't have soul speed on my boots right now. So soul speed 3 and then soul speed 3. Perfect. One for my boots and one for my backup boots. I'll probably have to get a few more levels because those boots are getting pretty hard to enchant now, but we should be able to make it work. So I'm going to do a little bit of prettying up here. I think that this is functional now. Just need to work on our front area here. Maybe hang some soul lanterns, although apparently that terrifies the piglins. So maybe I won't do that just so that I'm not torturing him while I've got him trading away for me. And I think, let's just make sure... I'm afraid if there's too many items, they'll kind of pop out of the glass, but it doesn't look like that's an issue. So let's just see. So I just started a timer. I'm just going to see how long it takes to kind of clear up these items here while we're able to. And then as long as it's not getting close to like 5 minutes or anything like that, which I don't think it will be. Although, that's going pretty slow. What's the traffic jam here? Oh, it's because they're... Yeah, I might need to... reroute that one into one of these chests directly or something like that because it's getting quite bottlenecked having to go through one hopper. It's still better, but definitely not the best. And then this one over here is only getting kind of half of the collection, so not perfect by any means, but let's just see here. Let me grab another hopper and see if I can convince it to go down into there. So... we put one right there. We immediately see items filtering through. Great. Okay, perfect. So that probably helped a lot there. And then we can even do some shenanigans for when like this chest fills up. We can have different chests and whatnot. But the important thing is it does seem to be working at least semi-decent. So let's go up and just see how much stuff we have left up here and wait till our timer is run out. Alright, so it did take a few minutes, but all of our items have been picked up, which means that they thankfully won't despawn. What they're doing and why they're taking so long is kind of baffling to me. I'm not sure why that one wasn't funneling into there. It's funneled out now, but it wasn't going into this one, oddly enough. And I'm not entirely sure why, but we got about 3/4 in those ones, and then... yeah, so this one's definitely getting the most, that would make sense. So yeah, no, it seems like it'll work, and I could probably do, yeah, an entire stack of gold blocks, and this storage system would probably be full at that point. And then we gotta make some decisions, like, how many pairs of Soul Speed 3 iron boots do we need? Probably not a whole lot. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have an incinerator somewhere very close by just for those things. Where did that block go? All right, let's do a little bit of decorating in the front here, and then I'll play around with the collection system in the back in a bit. Hello, gentlemen. I'm trying to actually record here. If we could maybe not... No? I guess make yourselves at home. Okay, well, this is what we have come up with. Our very nice little cottage core hell house. And when we come in, we're just greeted with a pretty nice looking wall that hides everything behind it. And then when we want to, we just pop on up here, drop ourselves in, 9 stacks. We'll hop on back down, let that all funnel through. It'll probably take a few minutes, but I'm not worried about anything despawning necessarily. If we do get that feeling, then I can always make some adjustments later on. But as you can see, just from testing this, we've already got some really great stuff. And this is about a stack of gold blocks. I think that's what we went through. And you can see some gold ingots don't make it through. They shoot too early, and the trader doesn't have enough time to grab them, but that's not a big deal. Those just funnel right back into this little dropper here. So, with our lovely view of the Nether out the window, I think that we will say adios for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Fiasco, and I'll catch you in the next one.